Hey folks, hey, I just want to give you a kind of a rundown here of the history of the nightmare that I have had with Lowe's and Angie's List. They just call it Angie's now. They dropped the Angie's List and they just call it Angie's. But Lowe's, for those of you who don't know, they partner with Angie's now to do all their installations. So this ceiling fan started making noise, and being that it's already over 20 years old, I said it's just time to replace it. I went to Home Depot. They did not have a fan that I liked. They did not have what I wanted, so I went to Lowe's right down the road. And so I found the fan that I liked, and I bought it. And they said, do you need installation services? And I said, yes, because this is an 18-foot high ceiling. You know, it's not unusual. They build houses with high ceilings. I don't really like high ceiling houses, but you know, it is what it is. This is what we found when we bought our house. That's another story for another time. But anyway, I found my replacement fan, and let me show it to you. Of course, this is still sitting in the box. Part of the nightmare. It's been almost a month since I bought this. I think I bought this in early June. Today is July 8th. It's a, let me turn it around here. It's a 62-inch Hampton Bay, and I wanted a larger fan because it's a 52-inch, and there's just a lot of area right here, and so I just felt like a 62-inch fan would do a better job of moving the air. It would move more air, you know, with the longer blades. And I think this room needs all the help it can get. So anyway, we scheduled the installation, and when I was checking out, you do all that at the checkout, and got to a place on the screen, on the computer screen there at the checkout, where it says where you address the height of your ceiling. And the only option that it had there, of course, you know, it had 8-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot ceilings and all that, and said then the last button was under 15 feet. And so the clerk said, go ahead, press that button, and then when they call you to schedule, tell them you have an 18-foot ceiling, so the tech will know to bring out ladders, scaffolds, whatever. So, okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that. That makes sense. Well, that's where the nightmare began. So we got it scheduled. I was on the phone with people from Angie's or Lowe's, whichever one it was. It's not real clear. It's kind of muddled. But I said, okay, I've got an 18-foot ceiling in this house. You need to make sure to tell the tech, bring scaffolds, bring tall ladders, whatever, extra help, whatever, for an 18-foot ceiling. The tech shows up. This is about a week after I bought the fan. And, well, guess what? Nobody told me this was an 18-foot ceiling. We're going to have to reschedule. Well, dang. Okay, you know, mistakes happen. So I called Angie/Lowe's, Lowe's/Angie's, whoever it is. And I called them and I said, hey, the tech came out. He said no one made him aware that this is an 18-foot ceiling. So, okay, we'll get you rescheduled. And oh, there's going to be an extra charge. I said, oh, no, there's not. I said, no, it is not, because you failed to communicate to your technician that this is an 18-foot high ceiling and that they were going to need a taller ladder or scaffolds or whatever. So, okay, well, we'll cover the extra fees. So we got the second technician booked like 2 weeks later. He comes out and he said the same thing. Nobody told me this was over 15 feet. They told me it was under 15 feet. So, okay, now we got a problem. Somebody's not talking to somebody. And so here we are about a month out after I bought that ceiling fan, and it's still sitting in the box over here in my living room. Okay, Angie's, Lowe's, you need to get your act together. Or Lowe's, you need to terminate your relationship with Angie's or Angie's List or whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, because somebody is not doing their jobs. This level of incompetence is not acceptable. And in a lot of businesses, People get fired for that. And this has just been, it's an inexcusable nightmare. That's all it's been. I have a third tech, three techs now. I have a third tech coming out tomorrow morning. I called again, and that's another issue. I have made multiple phone calls to Angie/Lowe's, whoever, to telling them to get this straightened out. Tell these techs that this is an 18-foot high ceiling. They need to bring a taller ladder. How hard is it? So anyway, I called them again this morning. Tell this tech, this third tech that's coming out, that this is a taller ceiling. This is higher than 15 feet. It's an 18-foot ceiling. And so the person I talked to on the phone assured me that, that's in the notes. Well, that's what they said before, and that's what they said the first time. We'll see. Like I said, this is inexcusable. There's no reason for this level of incompetence. And I would seriously caution anyone about buying anything from Lowe's that needs installation, because the company that they have chosen to partner with, Angie's, they seem to be incapable of following simple directions. They cannot communicate simple instructions to their technicians. And to make matters worse, I got an email from someone named Joyce at Angie's, and she started giving me the runaround, passing the buck. Oh, you've got to go back to the store. You're going to have to go talk to a store manager and get this straightened out. And I said, I've already talked to people. I've talked to multiple people at Lowe's. And we went back and forth in this email, and basically she just kept insisting that I get in my truck, go back to the store, talk to the store manager, like that's going to do any good, because the store manager is going to say it's out of our hands. And so that email with this Joyce at Angie's, that went nowhere. And it was obvious that she was going to do nothing to try to help resolve the situation. Nothing. So, like I said, I have a third tech coming out tomorrow. And again, if you are going to buy any product, whether it's a ceiling fan, a washing machine, a dryer, refrigerator, stove, that requires installation services from Lowe's, I would caution you, I would say don't do it until they get this relationship with Angie, or Angie's List, or whatever they're calling themselves these days, until they get that straightened out, until they learn how to communicate better, until they learn how to communicate simple instructions to their techs. I would say if you buy anything from Lowe's that requires installation services, you're going to be in for a lot of frustration. All right, that is my Lowe's Angie's nightmare.